Alright folks, welcome to the CSS ID video, and we are now doing HTML2, and we've been building on the CSS syntax, we've been building on CSS classes, we've been trying to understand how CSS differs from HTML and how it is similar to HTML. Okay, CSS, I would like to stress again, is all about styling your web page. It's all about cosmetics. It's all about appearances. It's all about presentation. Alright, so once you have all those concepts in your mind, I want you to understand CSS ID. Okay, CSS ID tag, this ID tag here. Okay, I have this file open, the notepad file, and I saved it as css id.h.txt, and what I'm trying to do is I'm just going to create a code that works like this, that renders the file. CSS IDs can be very useful. Just trying to help you explain how IDs aid in creating, unique styles for specific elements within your document, within your HTML document. Alright, classes exist because you want to refer to them within your code, within the body code of your code, and wherever those classes are applied, the style will also be applied. But IDs, one of the basic uses of IDs is that you want specific areas of your HTML file to be implemented as a different style than the rest of the document. Okay, and instead of writing long lines of code in there for those specific styles, maybe you have more than one instances. Maybe you have 10 instances of styles that are supposed to be standing out from the rest of the document. Okay, just for example, the entire style of the page is blue in color, and 15 lines are blue in color, but they're like, within those lines you need to add text that is orange in color. So that's like 16 words that are supposed to be orange in color, and it'd be very time consuming to write HTML code for all of those orange areas, and the list goes on. There could be other instances as well for this use. So use the ID tag to refer to the orange color code, and it helps you differentiate between the blue text and an orange text in a much easier and manageable way. Okay, all clear? So the CSS and the IDs allow you to assign a unique identifier to an HTML element. Remember, we did the hashtag here. I remember this very clearly. This is how you identify the ID tag. Okay, you just add an identifier to your HTML and then you call it. We did that for referencing, external referencing between two documents. We did that. Remember that clearly. Please recall. The same identifier, the same ID tag is used in CSS for this specific purpose. This allows you to define a style that can only be used by the element you assign to the ID. So, another advantage of using an ID tag is that you can use the document object model. Okay, DOM. Okay, remember in the beginning we always define doc type. Okay, you can add this is called the document. I'm just going to type it out. I'm going to delete before I write code. Document object model. This is the second advantage of using ID tags. You can use them it enables you to use JavaScript or dynamic HTML pages techniques to build a much more interactive website. Okay, if you need to use JavaScript and everything, you just need to refer to the ID identifier and call the JavaScript within your document so that your page is more interactive, or any other dynamic features that you want to add. Okay, that being said, and towards the end of this video I'm going to explain the exact difference between IDs and classes again, so just hang in there. Let's look at the syntax. CSS ID syntax. Okay, the syntax is very similar to what we had before. It's like a hashtag with ID, name, and within the curly bracket. Remember, the curly bracket is all about the domain within the CSS. Property, double colon, value, and semicolon. This is the basic CSS ID tag. You're similar to classes. If you want to use the same ID name for multiple elements but each with a different style, you can prefix the hash with HTML element name like this. Just write HTML element name and then add the identifier ID. Okay, ID name, and then what property or style, what property, and what is, you define the value of the property that you want to change for that element. Okay, and semicolon. Okay, this is the basic way of referring IDs. Okay, so let's go ahead and write down code for it. Okay, something that would have an output like this. Let's begin. Okay, you have the head tag. Within the head tag, you open up a style tag, and within the style tag, you say type. The style type is equal to text /CSS. Okay, word commas closed and bracket closed, style tag close. Okay, which means that this is a CSS document. That's what it means. Then you create a tag for the division element within the style. You're doing all of this. Okay, division, no, not within the style. Yes, within, under the style, division hashtag CSS section. You're applying this to the section. This is the name of the identifier. Okay, the name of the ID is hashtag CSS section, and you're applying it to the division element of the document. Clear? Okay, and then I want you to open up a curly bracket and then write border :1 pixel. Okay, and then write dotted red. Okay, close the curly bracket and then close the style tag. All clear? Okay, so you've now defined the CSS section identifier. Wherever you call the CSS section identifier within the division tags, this style, which looks like this, the border :1 pixel dotted red, will be implemented. Okay, no surprises here. Very simple code going on, just trying to explain the uses within a document with multiple styles, but you want one style to stand out. All right, let's call the division tag here. Open up the division tag, division I, then you write ID is equal to CSS section. There you go. You just call the division, the ID CSS section. You just called it within the division tag. Okay, and close the inverted commas. Please be very careful with the syntax. That's the problem with the CSS. It's very unforgiving with the syntax errors. CSS IDs can be very useful. Okay, and we're going to close the division tag here, div, and we're going to close the body tag. Okay, yes, I did not add the body tag here. We need to add it. We need the head tag. I'm sorry about that. Yes, body tag. All the tags that are open, see, that's the best way to learn programming. You just, whatever tag is open, you just make sure that it's closed. Okay, head tag open close, style tag open and close, body tag open and close. All right, I think I'm all set. I'm going to save this and I'm going to try to run the file again. All right, I made a mistake here. No issues. All right, yes, check this out. Okay, this is silly error. Need to turn this around. Okay, all right, because the tag was not closed. I need to close this as well. Okay, yes, I think now it should work. CSS, no, Yes, now it should work. See, this is how you try to find any kind of error that can be fixed while reading. Okay, all right, great. I'm going to save this file and let's see if I have any more errors. Still not running. No worries. Let me check where I made the mistake. Okay, head is fine. Style type is equal to text slash CSS. Okay, division ID CSS section. Okay, and you open the curly bracket, border, double colon 1 pixel, dotted red. Okay, curly bracket closed, and then I also close the style. Head tag is closed now, and I'm going to open the body tag, and then I'm going to declare div division tag and call the id is equal to CSS section. Got you. There you go. CSS section. It's not calling the CSS section ID because the name has been changed. It's not recognizing. This identifier is not recognizing. It's like, who are you? I don't know you. Okay, CSS IDs can be very useful. Looks like I just fixed one error. Is there anything else that can disturb the running of the code? So far okay. I'm just going to save it and run the file. There you go. It works well now. Okay, so in this session you learned about IDs, and you also learn how to, I'm going to keep teaching you how to troubleshoot your programs. They don't work perfect every time. Seriously, if they worked perfect every time, life would be so boring. Okay, I know, inconvenient but boring at the same time. But you know, this is what programming is all about. You need to understand the syntax and logic well enough to be able to troubleshoot. Okay, so that's the whole goal of learning programming. And that's the whole goal of getting a job as a programmer, because the code has already been written for you most of the time. What your job is to get inside the code and try to fix any kind of bugs that you can see. Again, that only comes with being well knowledgeable about the syntax, especially the version of the language that's been used. A great way to update yourself, like from 3-4 years from now, the best way to update yourself is to try to see what version is current and what changes have been applied to the version, because the versions of all languages are also updated within the browsers that run them. So the browser is updated, the language has a new version, you need to update yourself as well. Okay, so that's what, you know, good programming practice is all about. So okay, I promised I would talk about the classes and IDs. Okay, why are you going to use classes and why are you going to use IDs? So classes versus IDs. Classes and IDs are very similar. Okay, they are similar but not the same. Okay, they're similar, and which one you must be thinking that which one to use and which one not to use in a situation. Okay, you use classes when your style needs to be applied to multiple times on the same page. Okay, same thing I explained in the beginning. For example, you might have many h1 tags to h1 elements that need to have the same style applied. Okay, and then you use IDs only if one element on that page should have the style applied, one or more. Okay, so if there are too many, then you can have a class. If there are too many, you can just have a class. Okay, but if they are not regularly, you know, they don't appear regularly, then you need an ID. So this is the basics about the ID and class IDs, and up next I'm going to be talking about CSS font. Now we are talking, okay, now we're talking about style. So font, text, background, border, margin, padding, lists, all of these are now going to be embellished using CSS style sheet language, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in my next video. Take care. Bye bye.